Howdy, howdy, y'all. It is another Maharaj chapter. Chapter 53. Desires fulfilled breed more desires. Um, which I think is a very kind of basic concept, I would say, both in probably the most dharmic traditions, not even just Hinduism, but say Buddhism and whatnot as well. So this is a very common idea that yeah, that desires are something to be that eventually are to be transcended. This is kind of the difference is kind of lie in how to do it. Maharaj is very kind of he's one of those. He's in the camp of being much very direct about it. There's nothing else you know about this guy. He is very direct about like how to deal with this sort of how to, like for example how to deal with desires. Stop desiring. you know That's what I mean by trying to treat this at the source. He wants to deal with desires by not having them, which one would say, oh, easier said than done. But he would argue, well, I mean, for him, I mean, he like he says, he even talks about his guru in here once again, and how his guru, he would follow what his guru said, and when his guru said, now keep quiet, don't go on ruminating all the time, stop and be quiet. That's what he would do. And he said it worked for him. And even Maharaj literally says, don't seek remedies. This is literally part, like this is him in response to when the questioner says, I do see and admit that the outer chaos is merely a reflection of my own inner disharmony, but what is the remedy? And that's what his answer is literally just don't seek remedies. Which, yeah, I think that's. I mean, like I say, it's of course and I think the question, that's what he says, essentially says in there, in here too, is like this is one of these easier said than done things. He even says, there are things we need. Maharaj says, what you need will come to you. If you do not ask for what you do not need, yet only few people reach this state of complete dispassion and detachment, it is a very high state, the very threshold of liberation. So for Maharaj, just merely just going beyond this sort of desire and the pain and pleasure sort of dynamic, going beyond these things. This, for him, what he would argue, is the very threshold of liberation, which I would say probably a lot, most of it. I mean, that, yeah. It seems, I think that's kind of, I would say that's probably a no-brainer. I mean, obviously, let me know if you disagree, but I feel like that's a kind of a no-brainer, especially if you're familiar with any of these sort of dharmic traditions. Sorry, kitty cats are. I'm at a table here, and there's kitty cats on here. Oh, stop it, you cats! Say hi to the camera, kitty kitty. Her name is Faruka. She's bothering one of the other kitties that are just kind of up here chilling. Her name's Sophia. Anyways, point being, desires. Yeah, fight. Fight these desires. I like this chapter. Um, it starts out fun. I mean, the questioner even remits right off the bat that he's rebellious, and essentially he's essentially being, I'm cranky because I just dealt with like this delay, a flight delay situation. So, and which was like a 3 hour flight delay situation. So he's just in a cranky mood, and he's also just seems to be having a bad go at life, and even saying at one point, I think he even says at some point, like I pray for death or something like that. I think I remember seeing him say something like that. But yeah, he is not having the best time of go at life, and it's funny how Maharaj just does treat like it's like, yeah, you're painting, like, yeah, you can like essentially I feel like he's essentially trying to say like, yeah, you can let this pain like destroy you, but why? You don't have to let this pain destroy you. You just don't. I mean, you have that ability. You have that. you know, you know, you do have that ability to not let the pain just destroy you. In fact, be pain and pleasure. Don't even to go beyond those factors, even kind of just like controlling and gnawing at you. Because like even in the West, for example, that's why we even have this whole debate over like free will versus determinism and blah blah blah. While in the East, it is, you recognize those sort of things and recognize those about transcending those, or rather, I should say, in the Dharmic tradition. It's a little bit more complicated than East and West. Um, anyways, I'm not trying to say how much more I need to add to this because this chapter, yeah, like I say, in a way, like the previous one was very a highly personal one, and felt almost like Maharaj was being a psychiatrist until towards the very end. This one is kind of has a little bit of a similar feel, but not as much so, it feels. I mean, a little bit, I guess, but it's still, I don't know, it still manages to focus kind of more on a lot of the basics of what this book has been covering, especially in the previous few chapters before then, especially with pain and pleasure, going over that, and desires, and pretty much just all the top hits of Maharaj at this point. Um, and even referencing his own guru. So, yeah, I mean, hopefully you weren't expecting like a 15-minute long video, but I think that's all right. I like I say, I'm trying to think of anything else I wanted to reference in here. It's pretty much like I say that a lot of is similar to all the other chapters, but not to say it's bad. It's good, and like I say, I like that there's a little bit of a repetition within these conversations and whatnot, because especially when you're reading them, I think, like I say, I always say this in these videos, it hammers in the points at home, and just kind of seeing him over and over again doing all these conversations, it's really fun. So this was another good chapter, like always. I liked it a lot, like always, and yeah, I hope you all did too. Let me know down below in the comments. Namaste, y'all. Peace.